First fish on the kayak. Stay on there, fish. Oh God, how am I supposed to land this thing? Oh my gosh. Oh, oh. Stay on there, fish. What the heck? Oh my gosh, maybe I don't need grass and stuff. Maybe I know exactly what I'm doing. Holy cow. This is an absolute tank. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Fish at the Moment. Today you find me in a little bit different situation than normal. I'm actually taking my first trip in my brand new kayak. First time fishing in it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I literally have 3 fishing poles with me. I don't have any rod holders, no fish finders, no electronics. It's just me, a paddle, 1 tackle bag of plastics, and that's it. So we're gonna get out here, do a little paddling, hopefully do a little catching, probably a lot of fishing. We're gonna see if I can catch some fish here in a kayak. It should be fun. Okay, I got to my first spot here. It's a small little pocket. There's some standing timber. I don't even know what to do with my paddle. Do I need to put it down? Should I keep it out? I don't really know. Guys, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This probably looks super amateurish to all you kayak guys. What I'm basically gonna do is just take a little Neko rig, and I'm just gonna throw it around the banks up here. This is a small little reservoir, not very big, doesn't get a lot of fishing pressure because you can't really launch a boat out here with an engine because the boat ramp is so bad. So I'm basically just gonna hang out, fish down some of these banks with this Neko rig, see if I can put some fish in the boat. Today I'm in a Bonafide kayak. I was actually sent this kayak by Bonafide, so a huge shout out to them. This is not a pedal drive kayak, so I have to use the paddles. And I can already see the difficulty of this because I don't really know how I'm going to move and cover water down the bank while also fishing. This is slightly challenging, actually very challenging. I don't know if this is the right technique at all, guys. This probably looks ridiculous. You're all laughing at me right now. But it is kind of nice because it's forcing me to slow down and pick apart these areas that I'm fishing, and it's probably a little bit quieter than going around with the trolling motor, so it may actually be to my advantage. It might be actually very helpful for when I actually get back in the boat. But right now it just feels a little bit awkward, to be honest. Another challenge I'm facing is I don't have a fish finder on this kayak yet. I plan on getting one, but I thought I'd go out without one just to start out, kind of get that beginning experience that most kayakers have to deal with. This is a little bit challenging though, because I have no idea how deep the water is, if I'm looking at a point or anything like that. There's also no contour lines on this lake, so I have no idea what the depth is. So as if I go to a bigger lake where I have a Navionics map, it might make things a little bit easier. I'm gonna be taking this kayak to Grand Lake. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, guys, I honestly don't. But I'm taking this kayak to Grand Lake, Beaver Lake, places where I know I catch them in my bigger bass boat, and I am just floating everywhere. But hopefully this doesn't just go terribly. Uh-oh. Okay, I've run ashore. Not great. Oh no. Get out of here. Is this how everyone's first kayak trip is like, or am I just an idiot? I don't really know right now. Let's move on up here. I didn't like this pocket anyways. One thing I will say is that I'm feeling pretty confident in my paddling technique right now. I did get some lessons from Chad Hoover. If you haven't checked out his channel, he has a lot of great instructional videos, and I watched a ton of kayak content from him before I came out here, so I didn't completely look like an idiot, though I feel like I'm failing at that objective. One thing I am seeing is the water is very clear here, which is actually really nice, and it looks like there's a lot of standing timber in this lake, as well as some shallow vegetation. I've never been here before, so I have no idea what to expect, but I do like the standing timber. I'm thinking that some of these fish actually might be offshore out here. I might need to come back and refish this lake once I have a fish finder and this kayak, because I think that might help me out a little bit. Good one. Nice fish right here. First fish on the kayak. Stay on there, fish. Oh God, how am I supposed to land this thing? It's a big one. Oh, that same spot where I lost the other fish too. Finally found one. Oh, he's pulling me right to those fish too. Don't do that. How big is this thing? Oh my gosh. Oh, oh. Stay on there, fish. What the heck? Oh my gosh, maybe I don't need graphs and stuff. Maybe I know exactly what I'm doing. Holy cow. This is an absolute tank. How do I land it? Guess just like that. Oh my gosh. Look at that thing. I didn't know they had fish in here like this. Oh my gosh. Look at that thing. Offshore fishing in a kayak. Who needs graphs? That fish barely had it hooked. Had that Neko rig on there. I don't know what happens to the worm, but that is an absolute brute. That's a solid 5-pounder. Covering up my camera here. That is a 5-pound bass for sure. I am shaking. Oh my gosh. Oh, 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 oh my gosh. Look at that thing. Whew. Kayak fishing, baby. First trip. First time, but fishing for an hour and 30 minutes in a kayak, no problem. Fish in the moment. As long as you know what you're doing in fishing, it shouldn't matter, right? Oh, look at that too, guys. Do you see that? He has another plastic down his gut. Someone else actually had that. It looks like a little rage bug. Beautiful fish though. Sorry to the guy who lost him. Oh man, look at that bug-eyed son of a gun. Let's get him back in the lake. Get back down there, fish. And he's off. Kayak fishing, baby. Yes. Oh man, that was awesome. I got that fish on a little Zoom trick worm with a nail weight in it. This is called a Neko rig. And all I'm doing is casting it out here in front of this dam. What I'm trying to do is actually find the outside edge of the grass off this dam. And that's right where that fish was. It's kind of out in this area here. I don't know exactly where it was because I don't have any way to mark it. But all I'm doing is just trying to visualize what I think this spot will look like. It's actually pretty predictable what these dam sections look like. And so I know by graphing them in a boat that there's going to be a deeper trench right here, and then maybe it'll come up on this side. And I know there's some grass here, so it seems like a really solid area for some offshore fish to stack up. Again, obviously I don't have any fish finders to go off of, so I have to use my imagination and my fishing instincts to catch them, which fortunately worked out. And it's actually pretty cool catching fish without any electronics in a new lake. I've never fished this lake before. Catching a 5-pounder, pretty solid stuff. So you can still do it, obviously. You have to just get a little bit creative. And I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this whole kayak thing. I'm maybe using it as an excuse. Maybe I just need to sit down, start fishing, and catching them. This might help my boat fishing as well, too. I guess I kind of want to hold off on investing in a fish finder for this kayak, but I think two things I really do need to have are an anchoring system that I can drop off the side of the boat, as well as a marker buoy somewhere in the boat that I can drop off on a hook of fish. The kayak floats around so much, and that fish even was dragging me towards the spot that it was on, that it kind of messed me up, and I don't really know where I was. I'm kind of using this big tower over here. You can see it right over there. Using that big tower as a reference point for me. But other than that, I don't really know where that fish was, so I just kind of have to keep fan casting this area. So I think an anchoring system and a marker buoy, which shouldn't be that expensive, are my first two investments for this kayak, and then we'll see how it goes from there. One thing that's really important to note about these grass lakes is that whenever you do catch a fish or you get a bite, it usually means there's more fish in that area. These fish will group up in small little clumps of grass that might be the size of this kayak even, and if you're not putting your bait in that exact spot, you're not getting bit. Now these areas are all over the lake, they're just out here in the middle randomly, and it's hard to know exactly where they are, and even if I had a fish finder, I might not be able to pinpoint those spots. This makes kayak fishing actually not a bad approach to fishing some of these offshore grass spots, because you don't really need a fish finder. You can just kind of float around, cast out randomly, and every once in a while you're gonna get a bite. Now it does help if you know where the break lines are, the drop off, stuff like that. But right now I found one of those magic little grass clumps that's holding some fish. So I need to sit here and really milk this for all it's worth. Got him. There we go. Nice little fish. It's number 2, second kayak fish, right there on that same outside grass line. Not a big one, but hey, right now, I'll take it. I'm glad this is number 2. I'm glad my first kayak fish was a 5-pounder. Let me get on my hook real quick. There we go, little fish on the Neko rig, outside edge of the grass. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Like I said, all you have to do is target those small areas where you get bit, and if you make repeated casts those areas, you will catch more fish. I probably can sit here the rest of the night, if I was gonna stay that much longer, and maybe catch 5 or 6 more fish if I just stuck in the same general area. It took me 5 or 6 minutes to figure out where that little spot was again. I think I'm actually sitting a little bit on top of it, but there's also seems like there's some fish up here as well. The big thing is I need that bait to get down in that grass, and this Neko rig I'm throwing is really, really light, and so it takes a while to get down there, but it seems like there's not like a ton of grass out in this area. It's kind of patchy, which is actually good because it seems like whenever I get around a patch of grass, that's when I'm getting those bites. There we go, another one right here. Another solid one. Decent fish, not a big one. Just a nice one. They are stacked up in this grass spot right here. I got them dialed in. I got a little spot marked up there on the bank. Nice little fish. The camera adjusted here. Again, not big ones right now, but there's definitely some good ones down there. In these grassy spots, a lot of times, it's not so much about finding a spot that's loaded with all big ones. These fish will be mixed by size, which is definitely the case on this spot right here. And once you dial it in, you really just got to keep your bait in that productive zone. There's an edge to this grass, and all those fish are setting up right on that edge. Right when I pop my bait free, about maybe 25, 30 feet off the bank, maybe about 40 feet off the bank, those fish are eating it. So this is pretty solid right here. First kayak trip, got 3 in the yak already. Got him. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. This is a big one. There we go. Here we go, good one right here. Not that big, but solid one. Get over here, fish. Oh, there we go. Solid 2-pounder right there. Need to back myself away from this spot because they are loaded up right here. That is a nice fish. That is my 4th fish out of the kayak. I am so glad I found this little spot because they are stacked up right here, all on that Neko rig. If you guys aren't throwing a Neko rig, I'm telling you, that is the way to go offshore right now, especially around grass, but just anywhere offshore. They are loving it. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Nice one right there. Let's get him back down in the lake. Kayak fishing, baby. This is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna have to leave here pretty soon, guys, but I want to recap my findings from my first kayak fishing trip ever. First up, I realized that I am a complete novice in terms of how to maneuver and coordinate a kayak, from the equipment, the paddling itself, from pretty much every aspect of that. I am a complete novice and I have no idea what I'm doing. It's a little bit clunky, it's a little bit awkward and very inefficient. So I need to improve on that, but I'm sure I will over time. Another thing I realized is that I can't cover as much water as I was hoping to in this kayak efficiently. I can try to fish down the bank and stuff, and I even have like a buzzbait tied on here, and that was not gonna happen today because I just do not have the coordination to paddle and cover water with a buzzbait at the same time. Another thing I found is that I can catch some fish pretty effectively if I find a specific spot like the one out here in front of me, target that specific spot with a slow moving bait like this Neko rig and soak it. This is how I like to fish anyways offshore, and I want to experiment with getting like an anchoring system. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Never mind, I guess I'm not done for the day. Golly, that's another big one. These fish just don't want me to leave. Oh man, that's a nice one. Look at that. Oh, he's not that big. Thought he was bigger. Oh, there we go. Feels bigger on that spinning rod than the kayak for some reason. I can't even finish what I'm talking about. These fish do not want to let me leave. Nice little fish right there. I'm telling you, when you find these little spots, you can lock in on them and you can catch them. And that's probably what I'm gonna have to do with this kayak. Beautiful little fish. The guy back down there. But anyways, what I was saying is that I feel like I can effectively catch fish like I am literally right now by pinpointing these key little stretches. I probably, again, could use an anchor, I could probably use a marker buoy, something like that, but this is probably how I'm going to start kayak fishing. It's almost like offshore fishing in a boat, to be honest. And then after a while, I'm probably going to upgrade, maybe get some electronics to make that a little bit easier. But I kind of like going around without the electronics in the kayak, especially kind of more natural fishing, just using my instincts, using the lay of the lake as I see it. And that's kind of my plan. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content and hopefully enjoying all these tips. I'm just kind of giving you like a stream of conscious of what I'm learning, and as I'm learning it, I'm sharing what I'm learning. So let me know if you like that down in the comments below. Let me know if you like these kayak videos in general. I think they're really going to help improve my bass fishing in a boat, and I think that it will teach me some new techniques and things like that that I might not usually utilize in the bass boat because I just don't need to. So again, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next one.